there, anime fans, get ready for some seriously epic moments because anime is packed with them. You know those times when a character unleashes their true power and it's just mind-blowing? So sit tight and prepare to be blown away. Gilgamesh vs. Rider. Starting off our list is Gilgamesh vs. Rider in Fate Zero is a standout battle in the Fate series. Gilgamesh's overwhelming power and confidence are evident as he effortlessly defeats Rider, showcasing his title as both the King of Babylon and the King of Heroes. The animation and music enhance the epic nature of the fight, culminating in Gilgamesh's devastating noble phantasm that destroys Rider's army and wipes the smile off his face with just one move. Joker and Benimaru against the Holy Soul's Shadows. Instead of two strong characters fighting each other, they teamed up in Fire Force, when Joker and Benimaru fought against the Holy Soul's Shadows. Benimaru was already very powerful, but it was surprising to see that Joker wasn't someone to underestimate either. Joker, a former member of Holy Soul's Shadows, sought revenge throughout the fight. Benimaru easily handled the assassins, showcasing his strength and no-nonsense attitude. The animation was fantastic, especially seeing Benimaru use his fiery abilities. However, Joker stole the show. Initially appearing to struggle, he proved his cunning and ruthlessness. He deceived his former commander into thinking he was losing, then created a creepy hallucination. His final move, using a Joker card, was chillingly effective. Shigaraki decays everything. But we're not done with powerhouses yet, because we have another moment where the villain just completely overpowers everyone, and it's when Shigaraki decays everything in My Hero Academia. Now, when I say everything, I mean everything, may it be buildings, the ground, or even the unlucky heroes who just didn't run fast enough. Shigaraki's awakening just made every part of the hero's plans turn to dust, both literally and figuratively. His decay was so powerful that the heroes couldn't do anything but just run away or else they'd disintegrate. Endeavor, the current #1 hero, couldn't even take him out. Not only can Shigaraki's decay affect a wide area, but he can instantly regenerate any wounds he's taken. Grand Zeno erasing all of existence. This one is a classic and was an outright surprising turn of events. You see, if you thought Goku was the strongest being in Dragon Ball, then you're wrong, because there are so many more beings that are stronger than him. Like Zamasu, a Universe 10 Supreme Kai apprentice, threatened our heroes until Goku summoned Zeno, then Multiverse's ruler. Zeno effortlessly erased existence with a single gesture, displaying unmatched power. Despite lacking explosions, witnessing Zeno's action was awe-inspiring. Goku's manipulation of Zeno is unsettling, emphasizing the importance of not underestimating individuals, especially those who can effortlessly erase existence. Mob vs. Dimple. Mob Psycho 100 is full of amazing fights where ultimate power is outright displayed, but this one is just a banger, and it's the battle between Mob and Dimple. Dimple, once a villain, became one of Mob's closest allies, but their friendship faced a test when Dimple turned to God Dimple mode. Despite his powerful attacks, Mob proved his strength, reaffirming his status as the strongest in the Mob Psycho universe. The animation rivals One Punch Man with emotional depth despite comedic moments. The fight symbolized Dimple's character arc from villain to ally, culminating in his emotional sacrifice for his friend's sake. Kaneki vs. Jason. Now you already know what this moment's going to be all about, and it's none other than the fight between Kaneki and Jason in Tokyo Ghoul. This anime moment is a powerful showcase, blending music, animation, and emotion. Kaneki's transformation during his torture by Jason surprises and overwhelms. From being victimized to turning the tables, Kaneki's retaliation is swift and unexpected, highlighting his newfound strength. It's a cautionary tale about pushing the main character too far, as Jason learns the hard way, facing defeat or worse, consumed by Kaneki's rage. Makima's long-range kills. What's better than beating your opponent to a pulp up close? Well, beating them to a pulp from miles and miles away, and that's exactly what happened during Makima's long-range kills in Chainsaw Man. Makima is a mysterious character, surrounded by secrets about her devil contracts. Her immense power becomes apparent when she performs rituals on a mountain, sacrificing prisoners. Suddenly, her enemies are overcome by an unseen force, feeling a chilling sense of doom. Helpless, they meet grim ends, unable to avoid their fate. Makima's strength is undeniable, making her a powerful adversary. Ninja Kamui. A newcomer takes this spot, and it's the ending of the first episode of Ninja Kamui. Bet you may not have heard of this one before, as it's a pretty new show, but it is undoubtedly badass. Ninjas battling in the modern world brings an exciting twist, particularly evident in the gruesome elevator scene. The series adopts a Western style, adding a serious tone. Despite wearing hospital clothes, the protagonist massacres his enemies and brutally dispatches their leader. This intense battle leaves a lasting impression, showcasing the series' thrilling debut. Striga Energate Armor. Now here's one that uses brawn and one giant sword. Let's take a look at when Striga was in her date armor in Castlevania. Striga, one of the series' strongest vampires, surprises many when she reveals armor that shields her from sunlight, her kind's weakness. With a sword reminiscent of Guts, she proves formidable, effortlessly dispatching attackers. Her speed, strength, and presence alone turn the tide of battle. Despite facing villagers, her brutal prowess showcases the true power of a vampire general. Witnessing her unleash rage mode, albeit as a villain, is undeniably awe-inspiring. Gabamoro decimating the convicts. Next up, we have Gabamoro decimating the convicts in Hell's Paradise. What the prisoners here fail to realize is that they should have just agreed when Gabamoro said that he didn't want to fight, because when they pushed him to the edge, even though his hands were tied, he didn't hesitate to kill everyone with anything he could get his hands on. Gabamoro, known as Gabamoro the Hollow, ruthlessly dispatches his foes with kicks, chains, and even his mouth, leaving even the most ruthless characters astonished. His emotionless demeanor earns him his nickname, as he takes lives without remorse to ensure his survival. Despite facing Japan's most dangerous killers, Gabamoro effortlessly defeats them, making them seem insignificant in comparison. Atom Smasher destroys the heroes. Smashing his way into this list, we have the moment in Cyberpunk Edge Runners, when Atom Smasher destroys the heroes right from the get-go. What makes this particular moment stand out is the fact that the villain actually wins. Atom Smasher lives up to his name by brutally attacking Rebecca and preventing what seemed like a happy ending for the main characters. Despite their hopes, he emerges from the scene and systematically takes down each protagonist, including David, who possesses powerful modifications. Atom relentlessly dismantles David, showcasing his terrifying strength. This shocking and gruesome moment subverts expectations, adding depth to the series and ensuring its revival through the anime adaptation, despite initial criticism of the game. Levi vs. the Beast Titan. Similar to the Kaneki vs. Jason fight, we're all familiar with how this one turned out, but we love it all the same. Next up is Levi vs. the Beast Titan in Attack on Titan. Now this happened right after the rock-hard speech that Erwin gave. Zeke thought he won, but when he looked around and saw that the Titans around him were dead, as when he met the character that was going to be the reason why he started having a losing streak. Even if Zeke hardened his nape, Levi just kept slashing and slashing until he forced Zeke out himself. It was an ultimate display of power for humanity's strongest soldier. Ains takes off his ring. Moving on, the Overlord series is full of overpowered characters, but there wasn't a single moment that was as brutal or as menacing as the moment when Ains takes off his ring. A bunch of idiots decide it'd be a great idea to raid the Great Tomb of Nazarick, and even worse lie about knowing Ains' precious allies. That's when they realize the immense gap between theirs and Ains' powers, as, keep in mind, Ains is a mage and he's throwing hands against them. When Ains decided it was time to play his game, he removed his ringa and made their mage barf from pure terror. She couldn't even comprehend his strength and just gave up. He then proceeded to just take care of them one by one and even used Touch of Undeath, where one single point of contact results in death. Everything they did was futile. At the very start, they stood no chance whatsoever. When they took their first step inside the Tomb of Nazarick, they'd already signed their death sentence, and Ains made sure to fulfill it. Kenshiro vs. Jugai. Going back to the classics, we have Fist of the North Star, Kenshiro vs. Jugai. Fist of the North Star is a series that's just oozing testosterone, and it became even more badass during this moment. Even the music just screamed manliness. It wasn't only Jugai, as Kenshiro was already defeating enemies by just pointing at them and making them blow up from the inside out. Somehow, it's more awesome than it is ridiculous, and I think it's because Kenshiro is just dead serious when he's fighting. They even tried firing arrows at him, but he just countered and made it fly back his enemy's way. Even though it's a bit more comedic than epic, there's no doubt that it's one of the craziest and most entertaining showcases of power in all of anime. Jinwoo is fighting against the Hunter Killers. Now, this is one of the entries with the more recent anime on this list, and it's when Jinwoo was fighting against the Hunter Killers in Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is a new anime, and it was adapted from a Korean manga or manhwa. But even though it's new, it's already got a massive fan base because of its epic fight scenes. So far, this is one of the best, but trust me when I say that it's not going to be the last. Sung Jinwoo was previously known as the weakest hunter of all mankind, but things became better when he realized he could level up. A bunch of hunters tried to kill them, and Sung Jinwoo taught them a lesson they'll never forget, and that's because he was the last thing they ever saw. They couldn't even see his movements, and one by one he took care of them like they were fodder. You could even see the fear in the mage's eyes as Sung Jinwoo gave him the jump satomare of a lifetime and proceeded to stab him with his dagger. I think it has the possibility of becoming one of the best showmen in anime to come out in 2024. Saitama vs. Boros. Out of all the enemies Saitama has faced so far in this anime, Boros was the only one who put up a good fight, and it was a battle for the ages. It was a battle that could very well have decided the fate of humanity itself, and even though Boros was going through power-up after power-up, Saitama just kept a poker face the entire time. When he did decide to fight back, it was like Boros was just an ant, and he was a praying mantis. I mean, their entire battle made it all the way to the moon, and every one of their hits felt like it was going to destroy an island. From beginning to end, it was just mind-blowing, and Boros was a true warrior that didn't give up until the end, but all it took was Saitama to cast one serious punch and end things once and for all.